Hey Cowboys Nation, we have a lot to break down today as we dive deep into the latest updates surrounding America's team, focusing on the offensive line, key injuries, and emerging players who could make a difference in the weeks ahead. Let's start with the left tackle situation because that's been a hot topic for fans. Tyler Gayton has been struggling with a high ankle sprain, and it's been a concern ever since he went down. While head coach Brian Schottenheimer hasn't completely ruled him out for the upcoming game against the Detroit Lions, realistically the timeline for a lineman to come back from a high ankle sprain is tricky. 2 weeks is usually the minimum, and sometimes it stretches even longer depending on how the injury responds to treatment. Gayton has shown growth this season, making progress week to week, even if it hasn't been perfectly linear. There were moments earlier in the season where penalties crept into his game, but his overall performance has been trending upward. We've seen glimpses of a starting caliber left tackle who can anchor the line and provide consistency, but the key remains health. Staying on the field is critical for him to reach his potential, and these injuries are exactly what can derail that trajectory if not managed carefully. Fans have every reason to discuss whether he deserves a grade of B for the season so far or if there are still areas that warrant a little caution. What's clear is that the Cowboys' offensive line depends heavily on him performing at a high level. And right now his ability to step back onto the field fully healthy is the central question. Switching over to Nate Thomas, who has been stepping up in the absence of a fully available line. There are some encouraging signs against the Kansas City Chiefs. Thomas displayed a level of comfort that you like to see from a young player adjusting to the pressures of professional football. He faced challenges against the elite pass rushers. And while it wasn't always perfect, there were flashes of solid technique and poise. Observers noted that Thomas looks far more comfortable at left tackle than right, and that could play a role in off-season planning. Some of the defensive matchups coming up, particularly against teams like Detroit, are going to test him in ways that Kansas City didn't. Players like Aiden Hutchinson might create some matchup problems, and it will be fascinating to see how the coaching staff manages those scenarios. The potential to maximize Thomas's impact could involve thinking creatively about positioning along the offensive line, and it's something that the Cowboys might need to explore as they look ahead. But for now, Thomas is showing growth and adaptability, and that provides a glimmer of stability while Gayton works through recovery. On the defensive front, Giant Clowney's situation adds another layer of complexity. He was the only player at Monday practice not to participate, and initially it was assumed to be a lingering issue from a previous neck injury. Instead, it turns out that Clowney is dealing with a new hamstring strain, which clouds his availability against Detroit. His absence would put additional pressure on players like Dante Fowler, James Houston, Sam Williams, and Ezra, particularly in run defense. Detroit has shown a willingness to lean on the run game, and the edge-setting abilities of Clowney and Ezra are critical in containing that aspect of their offense. The team will need to monitor Clowney closely throughout practice sessions leading up to the game, as his participation will likely dictate defensive rotations and workload distribution. These small injuries can cascade into significant strategic adjustments, highlighting just how fragile roster health can be over the course of season. Meanwhile, on the offensive skill positions, there's a lot to consider with players like Jaden Blue. While some moves, like the signing of Israel Banana and the rise of Malik Davis, impact Blue's opportunities, it's not fair to write him off entirely. As a fifth-round pick, there's still a window for development and growth. And while this year's impact may be limited, long-term potential remains. Blue has shown flashes of talent, but consistency has been an issue, and the coaching staff's frustration with drops is understandable. Davis has emerged as a reliable option, making big plays when given the chance. While Blue's moments haven't yet translated into lasting impact. That said, being young at 21, there's room to grow, and next season could tell a very different story if he hones his skills and becomes more explosive. For now, his role is likely situational, but the talent is undeniable. Managing expectations is key. Fans need to understand that not every promising rookie will immediately transform into a game share, especially when depth charts and competition limit their snaps. A topic that has sparked conversation recently involves Micah Parsons and Quinton Williams and the trade rumors surrounding them. The situation, as initially reported, caused some confusion, but the reality is a bit different than what was widely circulated. The Cowboys did make inquiries about a swap involving Parsons and Williams, but it was more nuanced than just a straight player-for-player trade. In the end, the Jets decided to decline the offer, which was ultimately a rational choice from their perspective. Understanding these dynamics is essential because it shows how front office decisions aren't always as simple as they appear on the surface. Trades, draft picks, and roster management involve layers of strategy, and fans often only see the tip of the iceberg. The clarification of the Parsons-Williams scenario helps put the record straight, ensuring that expectations are grounded in the actual mechanics of the negotiations rather than speculation. Returning to the offensive line, the left tackle spot remains central. The question of who to prioritize, whether Gayton, if healthy, or Thomas, will likely be revisited repeatedly as games unfold. There's potential in both players, but the nuances of matchups, injuries, and long-term growth all play into how coaches might structure their line. The progression of Tyler Gayton has been a positive story when he's on the field, showing that improvement is tangible, but it comes with the caveat of durability. Nate Thomas offers a growing more flexible option, particularly at left tackle, and his continued development could influence how the team plans for future seasons. The balance between immediate performance and long-term potential is delicate, and the Cowboys' decisions will need to weigh both aspects carefully as the season continues. Looking ahead, every injury, adjustment, and emerging player will factor into how the team performs against challenging opponents. The combination of evaluating offensive line health, monitoring defensive edge setters like Clowney, and understanding the contributions of young skilled players like Blue creates a complex but fascinating narrative. Each week brings new challenges, and the team's ability to adapt will determine whether they can maintain momentum and capitalize on opportunities. Fans watching closely will notice the subtle shifts in strategy, personnel decisions, and playmaking, all of which contribute to the larger picture of the Cowboys season. The left tackle situation, injuries to key defensive players, and the ongoing development of rookies like Blue all intersect to shape the team's potential trajectory. Game by game, the balance between readiness, health, and opportunity will define how the Cowboys perform in crucial moments. From Gayton's ankle sprain and the cautious optimism surrounding his return to Nate Thomas's growth at left tackle and Clowney's hamstring monitoring, every piece of the puzzle has implications for both strategy and outcomes. Fans should pay attention to these dynamics because they provide context for what is happening on the field and what might happen in the weeks ahead. Now, diving deeper into the nuances of the Dallas Cowboys roster. One of the key points that has emerged over the past few weeks is the ongoing challenge of balancing player development with immediate game impact. The offensive line, as we discussed, remains a cornerstone of the team's ability to succeed. But when you layer in injuries and fluctuating performance, it's clear that adaptability is everything. Coaches have to make calculated decisions on how to rotate linemen, which matchups to exploit, and how to protect the quarterback while opening lanes for the running game. This is particularly crucial when a player like Tyler Gayton, whose trajectory has been promising, faces setbacks due to injuries. His growth has been tangible. Weak toe improvements were evident before the high ankle sprain, and he showed flashes of the kind of anchor left tackle who can stabilize an entire offensive line. But durability concerns remain, and the team's capacity to adjust in his absence or limited capacity will likely play a decisive role in their success against tougher opponents, especially in games where edge rushers like Aiden Hutchinson are deployed strategically to create pressure. Shifting attention back to Nate Thomas, his development cannot be understated. While he may not yet have the experience or consistency of veterans, the way he performed against the Kansas City Chiefs demonstrated poise and adaptability that are often overlooked in early career linemen. He is finding a rhythm at left tackle that allows him to contribute effectively. And while the right tackle position presents different challenges, the idea of maximizing player strengths is something the Cowboys coaching staff could explore more aggressively. There's a real question of whether in certain high-stakes games, rotating players based on matchup advantages could be a key factor in determining the outcome. For instance, Thomas may face heavier defensive pressure in upcoming games, and how he responds will likely inform coaching strategies not only for the remainder of the season, but also for planning in the off-season. This is the kind of scenario where adaptability and situational awareness on the coaching side become just as important as individual player talent on defense. The concern surrounding Giant Clowney is significant because edge setting is a core component of limiting an opponent's running game. Clowney's hamstring injury puts additional responsibility on players like Dante Fowler, Sam Williams, and Ezra, particularly in scenarios where Detroit or similar teams attempt to establish the ground game early. Edge rushers influence not only rushing lanes, but also the passing game, as consistent pressure on the quarterback disrupts timing and limits options. If Clowney cannot participate fully, the Cowboys may need to adjust defensive schemes, increase snap counts for other players, and find ways to maintain pressure without overexposing less experienced personnel. Every practice, every minute on the field becomes crucial when the margin for error tightens due to injuries. And this week will be especially telling in how the team manages these dynamics. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The NFL rumor mill is heating up again, and this time all eyes are on Dallas. Sources whisper that the Cowboys may be on the verge of a game-changing acquisition that could shake up the league's defensive landscape. The name that keeps popping up in hushed locker room conversations, Dallas Turner, or as insiders are already calling him in speculative circles, the new Parsons. Turner's rise has been meteoric, catching scouts' attention with a rare blend of speed, instinct, and sheer physicality that draws inevitable comparisons to one of the game's most feared linebackers. While teams across the league have reportedly been circling like hawks, the Cowboys brass appears to have made a bold move, signaling a willingness to invest in a defensive cornerstone that could redefine their identity. Fans have already started buzzing on social media, speculating how Turner would fit into Dallas' existing schemes and imagining the havoc he could wreak on opposing offenses. Veteran commentators and former players have joined the chatter, debating whether Turner has the consistency and football IQ to live up to the new Parsons label, or if the hype may be running just a little ahead of reality. Some argue that his athletic upside is undeniable with a versatility that allows him to both pressure the quarterback and drop into coverage seamlessly. Others caution that stepping into a high-profile role in Dallas comes with pressure few rookies or even young stars can handle without a few growing pains. Regardless of perspective, the narrative is impossible to ignore. The Cowboys, always hungry for headlines and talent, seem ready to make a statement. Rumors of Turner's impending arrival have stirred locker rooms across the league, with rival teams already evaluating how to adjust their offensive strategies in anticipation of a player who could become an overnight game share for fans. It's both thrilling and nerve-wracking. Could Turner live up to the lofty expectations, or will the weight of the new Parsons nickname be too heavy? One thing is certain: every move, every practice, and every snap he takes in Dallas will be under an intense microscope. And as whispers grow louder, the NFL world waits with bated breath to see if this rumor transforms into reality. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.